So there's 5 technologies that are being used for ledgers right now. People talk about blockchains. People call all the ledgers blockchains. Well, it turns out blockchain, like chain of blocks, really comes from the proof of work world, really. A tangle is not a chain of blocks, but people call it blockchain. And the Hashgraph is definitely not a chain of blocks, but we call it blockchain. But really what these ledgers have are 5 basic technologies. One of them is proof of work, where the whole point is everybody has to go buy supercomputers and lots of electricity to make us run slowly. That's the purpose. Why do we have to run slowly? Well, we're taking turns putting a block on top of this chain, hence the name. A block of transactions. We're trying to put transactions in order. That's the whole purpose of this consensus system, is put transactions in order. So we all take turns putting a block on top of the chain. It's like a tree growing up with a single trunk. What's bad, though, is if you and I were to put a block on at the same time, because then the tree is forking, and now we're not getting a complete ordering of everything. And that would be bad. So as a community, we have to decide to chop off one of these branches, which means you might do all the work of creating a new branch and even putting a few things on it, and eventually it gets chopped off and you lose any benefit you would have gotten from that. So that's the whole point, is to be able to build a tree. It keeps having these little things branch off of it, but we as a community keep chopping them off. Problem comes, if it branches too fast, if it's branching new branches and forks faster than we can chop them off as a community, then the tree just explodes outwards and we never get it all fixed. So what we have to do is slow everything down so that I can occasionally put on a block and you can occasionally put on a block, but not too fast. And that's what proof of work does. So it gives us this tree with inefficiency of things being chopped off, but at least we get one per tree. In Hashgraph, the alternative to that is, we fork all the time. You could put on blocks every time you want. In fact, usually what happens is each person is putting on 10 blocks a second. We call them events. And there's no problem. So instead of a tree with one trunk, it's like a tree with a million little trunks. And they're constantly branching out new branches, but they all grow back together. They get woven back together into a whole. And that's nice. Nothing inefficient, never have to chop anything off, so we don't have to slow ourselves down on purpose. So those are 2 of the technologies. A third one is leader-based systems. Here's what we'll do. Instead of doing that, where we slow everybody down on purpose and make them solve math problems that use lots of electricity, instead of that, we'll just have somebody be the leader. Well, everybody will send their transactions to the leader. The leader will pick an ordering, maybe not fair. Maybe they'll leave out yours because I bribed them to leave out yours. But that's the problem. But the leader will pick some ordering, send it out to everybody. Everybody will sign it and say, I like that. And then it becomes the consensus. Beautiful. Unless we start attacking the leader by flooding them with packets from computers all over the internet in a botnet attack to shut down the leader. Oh, we'll just wait and pick a new leader. If we notice the leader stopped talking, we'll pick a new leader. Except if one of us is malicious or infected with a virus, we can direct the botnet to start attacking the new leader instead of the old leader. Or if we're taking turns, every 2 seconds we have a new leader. If one of us is malicious or has a virus, we can tell the botnet to follow the leader every 2 seconds. And so by having a botnet that's just powerful enough to shut down one computer at a time, the entire planetary spanning network is shut down for as long as the attack goes on. We can be shut down for hours. That can be a problem. For a lot of applications, if you're shut down for hours, if the entire planetary network is shut down for hours, that's not a good thing. So what we have is like a house of cards. If you take out one card, the whole thing collapses. In Hashgraph, we're all peers. No one is special, even for 2 seconds. No one's ever a leader. We're all the same at every moment. It's like having your cards laid out on a table. And if somebody takes out one card, I don't care. The rest are fine. So that's the difference between Hashgraph or the leader-based systems. Now we have another way that has been coming out. People call it proof of stake. Technically, you can do proof of stake, a form of proof of stake on all 5 technologies. But the one that they're calling proof of stake, I would call a simulated economy. The idea is you gamble your money on what should be the consensus. And if you're with the majority, you get money. And if you're not with the majority, you lose money, or something like that. Maybe you have to bond some money and you can't pull it back out for a month. There's lots of different ways of doing this. But the idea is to harness the power of economics. Have Adam Smith's invisible hand to the market causing us to want to come to consensus. And there you have all sorts of problems with some of us are malicious and we're not trying to make money. We're trying to lose money. Or we're just trying to stop consensus. And what if there's a firewall that partitions us into two groups? Would we come to two different consensuses?